Great to have you with us. Please like, subscribe, and share.
Years, far too many American presidents have been afflicted with the notion that it's our job to look into the souls of foreign leaders and use U.S. policy to dispense justice for their sins. They loved using our very powerful military, and now it's really the most powerful it's ever been. We just are getting a budget approved, $1 trillion, highest budget we've ever had in history for military, $1 trillion. And we're getting the greatest missiles, the greatest weapons. And, you know, I hate to do it, but you have to do it because we believe in peace through strength. You have to have the strength, otherwise bad things could happen. But hopefully we'll never have to use any of those weapons. Seems to be an awfully big waste of money if you're never going to use them, but hopefully we'll never have to use them because the destructive power of some of those weapons are like nobody's seen before. I believe it is God's job to sit in judgment, my job to defend America and to promote the fundamental interest of stability, prosperity, and peace. That's what I really want to do. Before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together, not bombing each other out of existence. We don't want that. And it's crucial for the wider world to note this great transformation has not come from Western interventionists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. No, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way. It's really incredible what you've done. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it. Friends of mine, people that I have a lot of respect for in the Middle East, I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness.
So with that, I want to show you the clips from Trump actually meeting with the Syrian president. This was right before he jetted off to Qatar. So here we go. President Trump meeting with the Syrian president in Saudi with Mohammed bin Salman. There they are. They have a chance. Now, during this meeting, Trump, the Syrian president, basically said they want American help. Of course, they want American money. Everybody does. There's nothing new about that, but they want American help. They want American assistance. They want American money. But they are willing to join. He said that they would be willing to join the Abraham Accords, Syria. And this meeting was brokered at the behest of Mohammed bin Salman. And Trump specifically said in his speech to the Saudis, it is time for the Saudis to join the Abraham Accords. Imagine the global tectonic shift that would occur if Trump could get Saudi and Syria on board with the Abraham Accords and end the Tehran to Hezbollah pipeline that ran through Syria. Iran basically funneled money through the chaos that was Syria right into Hezbollah in northern Lebanon. Trump could end that pipeline like that. And Trump could bring two more nations into the Abraham Accord, recognizing Israel's right to exist and basically taking a gigantic leap in the reorganization of the Middle East, its stability, its prosperity, and the complete decimation of the neo-globalist world order. This is absolutely awesome stuff. I am loving this. And there will not be one person on the on the propaganda corrupt media that will ever talk about a Nobel Peace Prize for Donald Trump. I'm waiting to see if Donald Trump ends his visit in Turkey, because he said if there was fruitful talks between Putin and Zelensky, who are meeting face-to-face in Turkey, that Trump would fly there at the end of his visit and participate and help broker a deal. Imagine Trump helping to get a ceasefire in between India and Pakistan, Trump adding Saudi and Syria to the Abraham Accords, Trump getting peace with Ukraine and Russia. Yet there will not be one mention on the propaganda talking heads, the idiot media, about a Nobel Peace Prize for Trump, which he should be a shoo-in for. But this is awesome stuff. I am absolutely loving this. Now, this was not the only reason for this visit. Trump was in Qatar, obviously as a state visit, but he was also in Qatar to broker a deal, more deals. As we said yesterday, Trump got a complete commitment for $600 billion, but it's looking more like $1 trillion out of Saudi. He was in Qatar today, and according to Tenet Research, $1.2 trillion in trade and defense deals with Qatar, billions of dollars of Boeing aircraft, billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars of defense cooperation and defense purchases, like the F-15s that he was flanked by, billions of dollars in partnership with Qatar Energy. The Boeing one supports 154,000 jobs in the US. This is what Trump is doing. This is what Trump is succeeding at. Now check this out, because Kevin O'Leary was talking about this stuff. And he was talking about just how hugely successful a trip this is. That Trump is rewriting all of it. Here we go.
Called the Middle East Circle of Friendship, and that is Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Really, what's going on with this trip are two things. One is China. He doesn't want China to develop a relationship in what I call the Middle East Circle of Friendship, and that is Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. And then you ask yourself, why are all these AI guys with him? What's with that? And I'll tell you what it's about. At the end of this week, he has a meeting in Abu Dhabi. And what's happened in the last 2 years, maybe it's taken 3, but U.S. is number 1 in AI development and spending. Number 2 is China. Number 3 now, and very advanced in certain verticals, is the United Arab Emirates. They are so far ahead in many different verticals. And he wants to see that cooperation on AI be removed from the China model, because remember there was talk about the UAE starting to talk to China about AI. He doesn't want any of that. He wants these companies to form very strong bonds in AI, and when we get later this week to the UAE, that's what you're going to hear about. This is crucial. So China and AI, and of course all this money talk's fantastic, but we're in an economic war with China, and he is cutting them off at the pass in the fastest growing region on earth, the Middle East. Really what's going on?
Absolutely. Trump is cutting them off at the knees, 100%. And he's reorienting the entire global trade and friendship and alliance towards the United States and away from China. And of course, China just blinked. China absolutely bent the knee in that deal over the weekend. And so Trump is getting it done. This is absolutely amazing stuff. Trump is seriously pissing off the globalists. He is absolutely pissing them off. And I love it, because they're horrible people.